Coming up on CTV News tonight, water back on and drinkable throughout Christchurch, and the latest from the EQC. Welcome to CTV News, I'm Canetta Knight. There has been some good news in regards to water this week. Here's Emily Cooper with the latest.
Water supply was restored to almost all Christchurch homes over the weekend. Water supply was returned to homes by Sunday night, with the exception of some small areas at the top of Scarborough. Work is continuing to restore water supplies to these areas. Water pressure is now operating at normal levels. Christchurch Mayor Bob Parker acknowledged staff who worked over the past week and during the weekend to get the water supply back on. However, if your home or business still does not have water, you should report it as soon as possible to the Christchurch City Council by calling 941 8999 or applying online. Before doing this, please check that your neighbours have water. If you have leaks within your property boundary, you will need to make your own arrangements for a plumber. The Earthquake Commission is available to help with payments of up to $2,000 through the Emergency Works Grant. However, residents are still being warned to conserve water across the city, and there's a total ban on watering gardens. And in some more good news, Christchurch's water supply is now safe to drink. But people are still being urged to continue to boil drinking water from all other sources. The boil water notice was put in place immediately last Monday after the earthquakes because of the risk of contamination resulting from further damage to the water systems. And although some residents are not happy with water chlorination, the Canterbury District Health Board says it's a safe way of managing water supply related health risks, and the majority of supplies in New Zealand already have chlorine in them on a permanent basis. The council plans to remove the chlorine from Christchurch water supply as soon as it's safe to do so. And if people don't like the taste of chlorine, they can fill a jug with water and store it in the fridge for 30 minutes before drinking.
In some bad water news, residents in the eastern suburbs have suffered further flooding from this week's bad weather. We will have more from the eastern suburbs and the clean-up in tomorrow's bulletin. Now here's an update from Senior Claims Coordinator Reid Stiven from the EQC.
It was reported today that Earthquake Commission Senior Claims Coordinator Reid Stiven says it could take years to clear all outstanding claims. However, Mr Stiven says this was taken out of context and the EQC is still on track for its Christmas deadline.
Really disappointed by that and quite upset actually, because our focus has always been to finish the inspections by Christmas. We've undertaken to do the contents as well by Christmas. Obviously repairs are going to take some time after that, but people need to be reassured that we are really committed to completing the inspection process by Christmas, and we're on track.
The EQC has around 304,000 outstanding claims, but Mr Stiven says the process should speed up.
Look, we've done just over 22,000 inspections. It leaves us about 130,000 to go. We're really happy that our investment in new technology, iPads, is going to speed that process up markedly. So all our modelling suggests that we're right on track for a mid-December finish.
And he says EQC staff are working incredibly hard to get through the claims by deadline.
Yeah, they do, 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. We give them Sunday off. They are expected to get through so many claims per day, paperwork completed. And it's hard work, you know, they're dealing with people that are really stressed and feeling the effects of these earthquakes day upon day.
The Canterbury earthquakes have become the biggest insurance event in history.
And for more from Reid, including viewers' questions, tune into City Life tomorrow at 9 AM. Coming up after the break, men's health. Welcome back. It's the St John annual appeal this week. The ambulance service this year will have a shortfall of $14 million and relies on New Zealanders to make up the difference. St John collectors will be out collecting donations this week in various areas around Christchurch, or you can call 0800 St John, or you can donate online at stjohnappeal.org.nz or at any ASB branch. The Serious Fraud Office announced yesterday it has laid 50 fraud charges against South Canterbury businessman Alan Hubbard. The SFO announced it has made a decision in relation to its investigation into the affairs of Aorangi Securities Limited, Hubbard Management Funds and ASL directors Alan and Margaret Hubbard. SFO Chief Executive Adam Fairley said in a statement that after an exhaustive investigation, they have concluded that there is sufficient evidence to lay fraud charges against Mr Hubbard. The charges were laid yesterday in the District Court in Timaru. Mr Fairley said that there were aspects of the case which challenged the conventional concepts of serious fraud, and that the motives or lifestyle of an alleged offender are ultimately irrelevant. He says they have been aware throughout the investigation of the level of public interest in and support for Mr Hubbard and the issues of Mr Hubbard's age and health. And I spoke to Martin Witt from the New Zealand Cancer Society on City Life about Men's Health Week.
Well, the International Week of Men's Health is just it's raising the awareness. I mean, I think long-term men have been felt not to be that good at taking care of themselves, and so this it came about 10 years ago, I think, the international idea, and it was really about promoting men's health and wider awareness. So here in New Zealand, that was what the week is about, and from the Cancer Society's perspective, it's a key message for us.
What was the focus on last week's Men's Health Week?
I think the main focus was about being aware of your own body, being aware that it's not wrong to be concerned about yourself. We're not encouraging people to just run off to the doctor, but obviously in terms of just taking a check. You know, it's from men's perspective, it's really like about sort of thinking, you know, have I had a good check over? Have I actually been to the doc over the last couple of years? Is it worth it? And as we get older, you know, particularly if we get to about 50, it's worth going and just getting a full check over. It's a bit like having a warrant of fitness, really. So and that's the kind of message that's coming out from Men's Health Week.
Okay.
It's about that language, you know, getting a checkup, getting a woof.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, because we take our cars to get a warrant of fitness, don't we? We should take ourselves.
Well, that's right, and I think one of the interesting things is that over the years that they've looked at what kind of language works for men, and one of the things that the Cancer Society is working on is a toolkit, and it's very much framed around, you know, blokes and sheds, and on the line to get the toolkit from the Cancer Society is about literally looks like a toolkit. You open it up and you look at the blood pressure, you look at the bottle for the sunscreen, you look at the healthy eating, and I think that's really attractive because it isn't couched in negative. Oh, you know, we're going to die, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It is about look after yourself. But Men's Health Week is an opportunity to look at those messages, and the Cancer Society is keen that those messages actually really do appeal to blokes.
What sort of things should men be looking for?
Well, I think the overall thing is that there are lots of things that we can do. So first thing is, you know, how's your body weight? You know, are you taking enough exercise? Do you smoke? Perhaps do you think you might drink a little bit too much? Those are the kind of things and that really in a checklist you might want to ask yourself. And if you've got any concerns, go and talk to your health professional. That's the most important thing. If you've got any doubts, and I think again the evidence is men don't tend to talk. You know, they might talk around. You know, talk to each other, which is great. But sometimes, if you want some health advice, you really should go and see the health professional. As I say, we're not encouraging everybody to run off with every twinge, but it's like if you've got something that's been, you know, bothering you for, you know, a couple of weeks, and you think, well, actually, there's nothing wrong with talking about it. And I think that's where people say, you know, maybe women, you know, do talk about you know, their personal, you know, medical conditions, whereas the conception is blokes, you know, well, talking about that kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with it.
And don't Google your symptoms, right?
Oh no. I mean, Google is a fantastic tool, but in some respects, you know, you could Google anything, and you know, you can imagine you've got it in 30 minutes. So a little information is in the wrong hands is not good. So really get the right information. Talk to your health professionals.
Tell me about what we were talking about before, about the main focus with the Cancer Society at the moment.
Well, I think the Cancer Society, obviously it's got a long tradition of SunSmart messages. And within men's health, clearly, you know, without being sexist, there are a lot of outdoor workers who are men. And so early in the piece, the Cancer Society recognised that outdoor workers was a very good example of where we can get a healthy message out. So taking sun protection for outdoor workers is a key men's health message. So for the Cancer Society, One of the messages that we've been developing over the years, and one that I think we've got a good recognition for, is sun protection. So it was logical that we actually developed an outdoor workers message for all the roadies and builders out there through Canterbury, and obviously that's a really important message as we look ahead into the summer.
Coming up after the break, your local weather. Welcome back. The Reader's Digest has released its list of the most trustworthy people. Pete Smith hit the streets today in Street Talk to ask, who's the New Zealander you trust the most?
Survey came out yesterday ranking 1 to 100 the most trusted New Zealanders. They were voted on by the general public. Today's Street Talk question, we want to know, who would you rate as the most trusted New Zealander, in your opinion? That's the question for today. We'll go and find out.
My wife.
Great. Second choice?
Let's see. Well, he's gone, hasn't he? Hillary's gone.
Yes.
But the army man, I can't remember his name.
The VC winner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be top of the list, I think, way up there.
Right, okay. Who else?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, our mayor.
Bob Parker gets a vote?
He's doing a good job.
Yeah, you trust what he says to you?
Yes, I do.
Good.
Most times.
Good on you.
But no, politicians, no. None of them.
But the wife gets first vote?
Oh, well, sure would have to. I'd be in trouble otherwise. Oh, here she comes.
Oh, here she comes. Question. We've just asked you, hubby. 100 New Zealanders named as the most trustworthy. Who's the person you would trust the most, the New Zealander?
New Zealander. Definitely not my husband.
Definitely not. Why not? Not my husband. Why not?
I don't know. I would say Willie. Willie Appiah.
Willie Appiah.
Yep,
Yeah, that's
yep.
we're looking for his name.
Dean Beck.
Who?
Dean Beck.
Dean Beck. Now, good call. Okay.
Well, at the moment, I suppose it's Bob Parker. He's the one who's been doing everything for Christchurch.
My mum.
Yeah, good call. Yeah.
You mean well-known New Zealanders?
Well, whoever. Yeah, just who springs to mind? Someone that you would trust.
I honestly can't think of anyone off the top of my head.
What about in
sorry.
recent events? There's no one sort of stood out that you...
Mayor Bob Parker.
Yeah,
He seems to be doing a great
You
job.
believe what he says?
I do.
Yeah.
He seems genuine.
Richie,
Richie McCaw, good on you. That's a positive one. Well done.
my partner.
Yes, I would have thought that would be number one call.
Yeah.
But who in public life? You know, who's someone you'd trust?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I don't know if there would be someone that I could honestly say 100% trust.
As a leader?
Is it? Yeah, no.
Helen Clark.
Helen Clark,
Yep.
Yeah. Even though she's gone now,
Doesn't matter.
you'd still trust her.
Trust her.
Good on you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Key. Yeah.
John Key.
Oh, yeah, he's good.
He's got your vote? Yeah. Good boy.
I don't know. I like Paul Henry.
Yeah, you do. You're a Paul Henry man.
I am.
Yeah, well, he came in about number 98.
My husband.
Great. There's been a lot said that. Who else?
My boss.
Right.
My family. My sons.
Right.
Yeah.
The wider circle?
I don't trust anybody until I get to know them.
Right.
My father, for starters.
Yes.
The hope of the Prime Minister would be one I'd trust.
Right.
Being in control of the country, I'd want someone to rely on.
Yeah. Now, you work for Rosine?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Who do you trust your boss?
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hope he trusts you, I suppose.
Well, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Rosine's a New Zealand company, so yeah, I'd trust them, definitely.
Right.
I work in insurance, so it's been rather busy, yeah.
You trust the insurance company?
I do.
You do?
I do. I think the insurers, all of them, not just my company, are doing a fantastic job.
What about the Mayor of Greymouth and the Pike River?
He's done the best he can do, I think.
Now, he's a used car salesman,
Yeah.
and you still trust him.
But he has done a good job over there, I think.
He has
hasn't
done a great job.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's been sticking up for the people that have lost all the family and that,
Terrible,
I think.
yeah.
Yes.
He seemed a...
Yeah, genuine,
Didn't
really
he?
genuine guy, yeah.
And you tended to believe
And
what he
like
said.
he had a heart, he's got a heart.
Yeah,
so,
quite passionate, wasn't he?
Yes,
Yeah.
very.
So, is there anyone that stands out in the recent events? Anyone that stood out to you that you'd trust?
Well, I think our mayor's done a good job with the earthquakes. I think he's got our consideration for what's happening. He's trying his best.
Right.
The government are putting their finger in it and not making it easy for him.
Right.
No, definitely not.
What about
Sorry, Bob Parker.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
I think he's done a brilliant job, to be honest.
And you believe him?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So partner and family seem to be the strongest one that people will trust. They seem to know them better rather than just on the screen or just in the newsprint or whatever. So partners came out strongly, families came out strongly, bosses came out strongly, which quite surprised me. And of course, even right back to Helen Clark is still one of them. So, real range of opinions, isn't it? No one's right or wrong about it. It's merely just one person's opinion.
On Monday, Pete Smith spoke with Rebecca Duell on City Life about the youth town break from the quake camps for 500 young boys and girls. The nominations close tomorrow for an earthquake break in the North Island.
Now I'd like to talk to Rebecca Duell, but for you out there that are old enough to remember Boys Town in Auckland? It was a huge organisation. Well, it's now rebranded itself and developed hugely now into Youth Town. And you are national now,
yes,
Rebecca.
We are, that's right.
Yeah.
We've got centres all around the country, about altogether about 6 or 7, but we've got in the South Island we do work in Oamaru and we also do work in Greymouth, and now we're here in Christchurch.
Now I called it Boys Town because I'm old, but I presume it's co-ed now, is it?
Yes, absolutely. It has been for quite a long time. Yeah.
Great. Okay, what's the bigger picture for now? What are we trying to do?
Right, now what we're doing at the moment with our Christchurch-based activities is we are running activities and programs for young people down here, and we're working a lot around schools who are sharing school sites, so with Linwood College and Cashmere. But the other big project we're working on is our break from the quake camps, and so they are running in the July school holidays, and what we're going to be doing is sending 500 young people from Christchurch up to Auckland for a school holiday camp experience. Yeah.
Great, and what form will that take?
Well, we're going to send up
just shopping in Queen Street?
No, yes, just going to dress smart. So we're going to send up two age groups, so 10 to 13-year-olds and 14 to 17-year-olds. So for the older 14 to 17-year-olds, their camp experience will be based on sort of outdoor pursuits type activities. So they get to go to either Great Barrier Island for a week or to Tongariro National Park.
So we're talking camp, am I right, tent, canvas, am I thinking the right thing?
No, because it's going to be July, so it's going to be quite cold and probably a bit wet in Auckland.
So where will they stay? How are they housed?
Well, we've got different campsites, so they'll be housed in, like cabins and those kind of things. If they go on those OPC camps to Tongariro and Great Barrier.
So that's one group. The other group?
Yep. So the other group is Auckland-based. Yes. So they'll stay. Again, we've got some really nice accommodation that they'll be staying in, and they get to sort of do the Auckland thing. So they get to go to the Sky Tower and Rainbow's End and the zoo and all that kind of stuff.
Rebecca, how do you select the 500? How does that happen?
That's a good question. It's going to be difficult.
People say that, yeah.
So we've got two criteria that they need to fit into either one of those two criteria. So the first is called time out, and that's for young people who just really need some time out and a break from Christchurch. So maybe they're struggling a bit to cope with all the earthquakes. Maybe mum and dad have lost a house. Maybe they've lost their jobs. Something's going on there that's a bit traumatic, and they need a bit of a break. So that's time out. And then the other criteria is community contribution. So that's for young people who maybe come up as leaders after the earthquake, and they might have volunteered in their local church, or they may have fetched water for elderly people on their street.
The liquefaction shovelers.
They may have been shovelling, and even since Monday, more liquefaction shoveling to be done.
Yeah. So how do you find them?
How do we find them?
The kids. Yeah.
Well, we don't promotion like this, but also we're working quite closely with some schools as well, and we're working closely with community organisations to get the word out there.
How are they holding up, Rebecca, the kids? Seriously?
Kids, they're really resilient. Young people really are resilient, but they've been through a lot since September.
A lot of them have had their lives turned on their heads, haven't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, and not just say things like maybe losing a loved one, but just having to maybe change schools,
just general disruption, isn't it?
Yeah,
their life is different.
Yeah, it is different, and some people cope quite well, and others not so much. So,
how do we fund this?
Well, we've got a few different funding streams with Youth Town. So we have a gaming trust, and we also have a property trust, and we have a lot of donations. And for the camp, we've been particularly lucky in having quite a lot of really good sponsors come on board and help us out. So Air New Zealand have really come to the party and gave us good price on flights, and Telecom have given us $520 phone cards, so young people can phone home when they go on camp. And everyone we've approached in Auckland to tell them what we're doing have been really supportive.
For a lot of them, it will be a totally different experience, won't it?
Yep.
Some will never have been to Auckland.
Absolutely, yeah. Some might never have been on a plane.
Correct.
So, yeah, so that's what
So
we're
who
really
goes
looking
with
at.
them?
Well, we've got all our Youth Town staff and qualified instructors on the camps up in Auckland, but we are taking teachers and youth leaders from Christchurch. So, yeah, if schools nominate, a group of young people, then hopefully we'll be able to take a teacher as well to go along and just provide that care and support and, look after
One
the
thing
kids.
you do find as you become an older parent, you lose track of when the jolly holidays are. When are they?
They start on the 18th of July.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
So 2 weeks, that's a Monday, so we've got 2 weeks.
Wonderful experience and opportunity for them, isn't it?
Yep, it really is. It's
What do
gonna
they
be
have to do
cool.
when they come back? Do they have to tell people about it?
Of course they have to tell people about it. They have to tell people about how much fun they had and But there's no certain thing they have to do. But what they have to do is have fun.
That's CTV News. I'm Kenetta Knight.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.